Good evening, folks. Well, it seems that a number of you enjoyed that last video on, well, actually the last couple of videos. The last one was about what does it take for ordinary people to think that the Earth is a sphere. And I covered, I think, the whole gamut of things, around about 30 odd different things, reasons why people would think that the Earth is a sphere. So in this video we're going to have a look at information that comes from Flat Earth. And where does this information come from? The hierarchy, if you like, of the information. Okay, so let's start. First of all, we have what I call the drones. Now, who are these drones? Examples: Ranty, Right the Hand, Arwen, Rude Earther, Sleeping Warrior, Nathan Oakley and Nathan Thompson. These are the drones. Now, what's special about these drones is they don't think for themselves. They can't think for themselves. So they just repeat stuff that they hear from further up the ladder. And of course, let's have a look at what they do say. They focus on semantics. For instance, the force of gravity. So people generally describe that as, you know, the force of gravity. That's what they say. Oh, the force of gravity did that. Oh, why did that fall? Oh, it's the force of gravity. So these are colloquial terms. They don't actually mean that gravity is a force. So what these drones do is they say stuff like, because gravity isn't a force, gravity doesn't exist. What utter nonsense is that? Drop something. See if it doesn't fall. That's a gravitational field acting on a mass that creates a force. That's why they say force of gravity. They don't say gravity is a force. They say force of gravity. Why don't you pay attention? Okay. And then they cherry pick words and phrases. That's another thing they do a lot of. For instance, the latest one is this geometric horizon. That's been going around in this flat Earth drone world for a few months now. What they're saying basically is, because you see the apparent horizon, that's because you're looking through the atmosphere and you're going to get some refraction, which will cause looming and all sorts of other effects that you get from refraction. Because of that, therefore, if there's an apparent horizon, there can't be a geometric horizon. Because they can't chew gum and walk at the same time. Of course there's a geometric horizon, because it's a sphere. And on a sphere, you get a tangent line. And the tangent is perpendicular to the radius. This is the geometric horizon. It's there whether you can see it or not. Okay. Now, what happens is, these drones soon run out of ideas. So they can't wait for the next biggie to come. Well, while they're waiting for their ideas, they go around and visit the common flat Earth gurus in the hope of picking up a few things from them. And they do. You know this because if you visit the common flat Earth gurus and you hear something that's not been said before, it won't be long before you hear the drones saying the same thing. So you know they went and copied it. Well, who are these common flat earth gurus? Well, we have Dell, Jeranism, Globebusters, Mark Sargent, Rob Skiba. These are examples of the common flat earth gurus. They've been here a while. So they're pretty well versed in both the spherical model of Earth and of course their rubbish. And they've got some reasonable ways of trying to obfuscate, which is their main thing. They teach the drones how to obfuscate and deflect. For instance, in their case, they don't even believe that the Earth is flat. In fact, they'll tell you that they don't believe the Earth is flat. They just tell you that it's not a sphere. This is what I mean by deflecting. Now, of course, these people over here are not smart enough to realize that they've been told bullshit. That the very people they're picking up the information from don't actually believe themselves that the Earth is flat. There's a couple of them who do, like Nathan Oakley and Sleeping Warrior. They know that that the Earth is not flat. In fact, they don't believe the Earth is flat. They've told me that themselves. These common flat Earth gurus, they hold conferences. They invite all sorts of people, and of course the drones go there. Or at least they buy tickets to listen to them. And this is where they do their main preaching. You see them getting up one at a time, talking nonsense, telling lies. For instance, they teach them how to defend the ridiculous. They invent their own fluff physics. Like gravity is caused by magnetism. Although they don't explain how that even happens. Okay, well, sooner or later they run out of those ideas too. So what's the next thing? Well, if I go for the big one, flat earth royalty. That's where all the real information for flat earthers comes from. All the big stuff. That's because flat earth royalty is capable of thinking a bit. Thinking enough to be able to tell lies and obfuscate and cherry pick. All the flat earth research is done by flat earth royalty. And right bang smack in the middle of this flat earth royalty is Flat Earth Queen. I spoke about Flat Earth Queen last time. Flat Earth Queen is the one who listens to baller videos and goes and does a little bit of research, cherry picking stuff. But dishonest. Because what this Flat Earth Queen does, cherry picks one or two phrases or a sentence or two and completely misses out on paragraphs that go against what he's trying to tell you. And of course, no flat earther ever does research themselves. They just repeat stuff. So it's not like they go and have a look to see where the original source of that information came from. Truth be known, don't actually want to know. So, Flat Earth Queen is responsible for the quality control. A good example of what came out of Flat Earth Queen was this Black Swan nonsense. That threw the whole damn Flat Earth movement into hubris. Because they thought, well, if we can hang on to our money just a little bit longer. Because the flatties are sure going to buy this one. Of course, it was debunked in about 5 minutes. You know, by that thing called looming. There's nothing that's not going to be debunked. If you're a flatty listening to this, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that won't be debunked. There's no evidence whatsoever that the Earth is flat that isn't going to be debunked. Get used to it. Okay, now, if you're a good flatty, pass on the information from the Queen accurately, you get to maintain an income. How good is that? Flat Earth people start listening to you. You got new information. That's what you came for. That's what you paid for. But, God forbid you're a bad one, because these people are vicious. They'll tear you apart. There's a raging war going on right now with Ranty and Sleeping Warrior. It's quite entertaining to listen to. And they mean business. You want to hear them go at each other. Oh, it's embarrassing. Actually, it's entertaining and embarrassing at the same time, if that's even possible. Okay, alright. Now there are some other type of flat earthers around. The ones that that don't admit that the earth is flat, even though on their posters they've got a flat earth. You ask them, do you think the earth is flat? And they go, we don't have a model. We just think that the earth is not a sphere. How dumb is that? You don't know what it is, but you know what it isn't. Yeah, right. Okay, I think that's enough. We'll just save some more of this fun for another video. Okay? Alright. If you like my videos, you know what to do. Press that subscribe button. It's been getting up a bit, thanks to Schrodinger's cat, and I'm very pleased about that. So please press that subscribe button and press that bell, and you'll know I'll be doing some more of these if you like them. And if you do like them, press that like button. Go on, I'll wait for you. Press it, go for it. Okay, if you don't like it, which is probably because you're a flatty and you have no sense of humour either, or you find this to be embarrassing, which of course it should be, and press that dislike button. Go on. You know you want to. Hey? Smash it. Go on. Alright. See you guys in the next video. Cheers.